do me a favor? Oh, wait, you want my money?
I just finished setting everything up. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
No,
I
you're
was
good.
gonna wait,
You're
but
You're good.
do you know how to set everything up?
Yeah, I'll probably try to do it a few times, like with some of each machine or something. I will eventually have to do it like
I see, you got a couple of minutes
Do you want to share?
after we have voting and.
I should. My in-laws are here, so and I were all together. But happy to see
Okay, all right, so one minute now.
let me get a few things on from my.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Are you learning the ropes?
Kinda. I was here like a week and a half ago or so.
Okay.
Could you do me one favor, sir?
Yeah.
This is Sam. Sam is
Sam,
on
Sam,
Sam.
help me
How
get a
are
roll
you?
call.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I so glad you like it. Okay. It's really nice, especially when it's quiet in here.
so Brooklyn kind of showed me it's everything last time.
Do you have any questions?
Not for now.
What I like to do is I don't have Facebook, so I'll just have like the YouTube stream just on my phone.
I have Facebook, so
Just so I can like
keep
keep
an
an eye on the sound quality, because that sound quality, it has been struggling lately, and it's stressing me out.
God damn this rain.
Oh my god, why is the sound off?
which means a new song.
She's pretty good.
The
She's
words
actually.
la 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 fit to every song that we're going to sing in Hebrew. Just in case Hebrew isn't one of your languages, which is okay. But there's also transliteration on the page, as well as really good translation.
Sometimes we sing, which is the case for this song too. Now I know all this stuff sounds real serious, so I do want you to put a smile on your face, maybe share it with somebody who's sitting somewhere else in the room right now, someone that you didn't walk in. Just share a smile with them. And I want you to do the same thing if you're at home or somewhere on a device joining us digitally. You can see us and we can kind of see you too, and we're really glad you're here. If ever you're joining us digitally and you want to leave a message, a blessing, we always appreciate that. Let's start Shabbat together with this new song, Shir Chadash, page 648. Let's do that again. So Shabbat Shalom. Welcome tonight. It is really, really good to be together. Those of us who are here digitally tonight, if you're outside of Greensboro, you may not know that it was pouring here just a few moments ago. It may still be outside. Most of the people who came to Temple tonight arrived by boat. No, that didn't happen, but it felt that way. It felt that way, and probably had to feel like you had a towel off or something when you came into the room tonight. It's nice that it's dry in here, and it's nice that there's a lot of warmth in here, not just in terms of whatever the temperature in the room is, but definitely the mood. And it's just really a blessing for all of us to be together. We will bring a little bit more light into the world right now as we turn in our prayer books to pages 120 and 121. And I'm going to ask for Patty Stiles, together with Inez Elliott tonight, to come on up to the bima. They'll be lighting our Shabbat candles and then saying the blessing together. For those who are, again, joining us from home, this would be a great time for you, if you do have Shabbat candles nearby, to light your own candles at home and to do so to increase the light and the blessing even more from where you are.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
So we're going to turn in our prayer books now to pages 138 and 139. We'll be singing Lecha Dodi, and we're going to pass out the chocolate kisses right now. Noah, actually, if you could help us pass out the kisses, really appreciate. Make sure everybody gets one. When you do get a piece of chocolate, hang on to it, not too tightly. We don't want it to melt, but this is a good opportunity for us because we're going to bless one another, and then we're going to trade chocolates with one another. If you're at home, it's a good opportunity to go get some chocolate. I don't know if do you go through like any given day or any given hour or any given week with, or maybe more, with a song soundtrack in your head? Right? Does that ever happen? Some people do. Some people are like, "What are you talking about, Rabbi?" But I tend to have like these different songs. Like when I wake up in the morning, they're just running on a loop through my head. Sometimes they're like real songs. Sometimes they're nonsense songs. This week there was real songs, and I think it was highly influenced by my wife Mickey. She was listening to some songs that we really, really like, and some of them I hadn't heard for a while. So a lot of the music that made its way into this week's Shabbat service is based off of that soundtrack. It's like a deeply, if you want to call it like traditional Jewish soundtrack. But the tune that we're going to use for Lecha Dodi tonight is one of the songs that's on that soundtrack. So at least part of my week, right, I'm going to share with you tonight, or maybe we're all going to share together tonight. Maybe this was part of your soundtrack also. Lecha Dodi is a song that helps us welcome into the Shabbat. Oh, there she is. She had the, you walked in perfectly. Like the Sabbath bride. We're going to sing verses 1 to, I think it's 1 to 5 and 9. And right before we get to verse 9, I'm going to say, stand up. And when I do, go ahead and face towards the door, because we're like symbolically welcoming Shabbat into our community. Those who have done this like over and over again, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, just watch other people. And then after we sing that 9th verse, we will be standing. We're going to face this way again towards Jerusalem, towards Israel, towards our spiritual magnet. Back home, her hometown, Jerusalem. Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Sabbath. Don't eat those chocolates yet. If you do, it's okay, but they're meant to be shared with others. Ya la la la. Shabbat, Shabbat, Lechu v'necha, ki mekor ha'bracha, lerosh v'terem, nesucha, shvot maseh v'machshava tchila. Entrance. Let's welcome Shabbat the way that you would like to be entered in life, welcomed in life. Facing towards Jerusalem. Lecha Dodi Ikra Allah Penei Shabbat Please be seated. Take your hand and put it on someone sitting close to you. Keep in mind also and in your heart those who may be in a different place in town or a different place in the country, even a different place in the world, your friends or your family that you want to bless at this time. And from our hearts, we bless one another with these words, time honored by our tradition, repeating after us, first in Hebrew, then in English. Yivarechecha Adonai.
Yivarechecha Adonai.
V'yishmerecha.
V'yishmerecha.
May God bless you.
May God bless you.
And may God keep you.
And may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai. Panav Elecha. V'yichuneka.
May God's light shine upon you.
May God's light shine upon you.
And may God be gracious to you.
And may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai.
Yisa Adonai.
Panav Elecha.
Panav Elecha.
V'yasem lecha.
V'yasem lecha.
Shalom.
Shalom.
May God always be with you.
May God always be with you.
And bless you with peace.
And bless you with peace.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, go ahead and do you know those chocolates now? Give it to someone next to you. Who knows, you may get one back, but it's a good opportunity to bless one another at this time.
This is last week, correct? Am I crazy? Because I wrote about Ray.
Oh yeah, it is.
So I'm just making sure it's me. I wrote about the Ray. Okay. I was like, oh God, I wrote about the wrong part. Okay.
Rabbi, go see if Mickey and Nicole will bring their
I shall.
We're on page. Enjoy your chocolate right now. No, we do this because we want Shabbat, to be a little sweeter all around. Who knows? Maybe it's adding to the sweetness of an already sweet week, or maybe kind of you needed a little sweetening after a week that's been one of those, like that featured a great rainstorm before services started tonight. Who knows? Who knows? Page 146, the ark doors will be opened momentarily, so we're going to ask that you stand at this point as the ark doors are open, and we'll continue on that page with the Baruch Hu call to worship.
Remain standing, and we'll turn back in our prayer books to page 149 in the blue. I hope you'll read with me at the bottom. This is an hour of change. Within it
We stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai
Ha'ma'ariv Aravim.
Everlasting love,
Page 150.
you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night will we reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto
We're going to take our seats and continue singing together on page 154, these words that come from the beginning of the book of Deuteronomy, reminding us that we should love God with all our hearts and with all our souls and with everything we got. Together,
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinatam levanecha
V'dibarta abam
ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, ושתם לאות על ידך, והיו טוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So if you turn to page 157, we're going to continue there with a reading, a prayer in advance of our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha. But thinking about freedom this week, it's hard for me not to think about that story of one of the hostages. You may have seen this story also. At first they said, the news was reporting that he was released. And I'm like yelling at the radio and saying, he wasn't released, he was rescued. He was rescued. And the interesting thing about his profile, and again, his picture is one of the pictures that's over here on the sign that we keep next to this yellow chair, reminding us that they all need to be back home, the remaining 107. But the interesting thing about his story, you may remember, is that he is an Israeli Arab, a Bedouin, right? And just like everybody else who's come home, who's been brought back alive, he was reunited with his family, with his 11 children, and with many other in the family, not only to their applause, but also to the applause of all of Israeli society. Freedom is something to behold, right? Winning, if you will, is when we're all working together and not beating on one another. And I think that that's what's at the heart of the prayer that we're about to do together before we hear these songs of freedom, which will be sung in Hebrew on the next page, on page 158, just momentarily at the top of the page. Maybe a guiding principle of Judaism, definitely of the way that we as a congregation carry ourselves. And I think that we saw part of that this week in Israel, as one of those who was taken hostage by Hamas terrorists was brought home, rescued. Let's say together, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 158.
Mi chamocha hayim Adonai, mi chamocha tedar b'kodesh norati lot, o sefele, o sefele, malchutcha uvanecha. Bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, malchutcha uvanecha. Bokeh hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. V'nemaki feda Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch hu ubaruch Shemo. This next song, this next prayer, page 162, also was on the soundtrack. Devorah.
Hashem
stand together as the ark doors are open. Our prayers will continue on page 164.
That my mouth may declare your praise.
166.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Ha'anora, El Elyon, Gomer Chazadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasderot V'Imahot, U'Mivigula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo V'Ahavah, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezra Sarah.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh kol atara v'Moshiach.
Mori Atah, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohek Noflim V'Rofek Noflim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Yichalocha Al Gefurot, Umidom Elav, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzliach Yeshua, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol. Atar kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'doshim b'chol yom, ya'alav l'chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh.
With the ark doors closed, you're welcome to take your seats, and we'll continue now in silent prayer through page 178.
Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol leinu v'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav. Tasim Leolam.
The New York Times has a daily podcast, which is, so oddly named The Daily. You may listen to it yourself. Today's was on Phil Donahue. Now, you have to be of a certain age to know who Phil Donahue was, right? He would walk around and he would get things and he would put his microphone, get the questions from the audience. And it was actually a very wonderful, beautiful tribute. Phil Donahue having passed away, I believe, a couple weeks ago, right? I saw the news. I was like, oh, my God, Phil Donahue, and everything like that. But he was known, right, for kind of bringing the popular voice into the room at a time when, TV shows obviously weren't even doing that, and was that. So we have our own version of that tonight. We're not going to be asking Rabbi Hertz questions about what's going on, although she will be doing a, sharing some teachings and a sermon with us in just a moment. But tonight is the last Shabbat of the month, at least on the civil calendar. And what do we do on the last Shabbat of the month? We celebrate birthdays for those who have been celebrating during the month. So if you had a birthday this month, and I can say had because, well, maybe you have one tomorrow on the 31st, but maybe you had a birthday earlier in the month, or maybe today was your birthday. We want to celebrate with you our friends at Dewey's, who I think is located in the Friendly Shopping Center, if you don't want to schlep all the way out to Winston, which is what the coupon here says. But they want to celebrate together with us and with you. And so if it's your birthday, I'm trying to incentivize this. So, don't be a wallflower tonight. If your birthday really is, we're not going to have you come up and give a sermon, but we do want to at least talk to you for a moment. So if you got a birthday in the month of August, I'm just going to look around. Raise your hand right now. Oh, we got a couple. Celebrate. Oh, well, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to you. I'm going to ask you to kind of keep your hand up the whole time. Otherwise, you'll lose all the blood in your hand. No, I'm going to walk over there. Now, those of you at home may not be able to follow me all over the place, but you'll be able to hear the voices as I ask people what their name is and when their birthday was. And then if they want to, and only if they want to, they could tell me how old they are. Either way, you're going to get a special coupon from us. And at the end, just so that you're ready over there, Maestro, we're going to sing 2 versions of Happy Birthday. The first one in Hebrew that starts with the words Yom Holedet Sameach, and then we're going to sing it in what other language? English. We'll do it in English, okay? So, what's your name?
Sheldon Kruger.
Sheldon, when is your birthday?
August 16th.
August 16th, and that is a auspicious day to be born on. You're a Leo, if memory serves me correctly. I just kind of pulled that out of the air. You're like a lion, and do you want to tell us how old you are?
I'm 15 years younger than 100.
That's amazing. Give him a big hand, by the way. Anyway, this is for you, Sheldon, tonight, and happy birthday to you. Yes, let's do the same thing over here. Young lady, what's your name?
Minta Napier,
And it's good to see you, Minta. When is or was your birthday this year?
the 24th.
It was just a couple days ago. Yeah, that's fantastic. Did he take you out? No. Okay, anyway. You want to tell us how old you are, or N.A., and no comment?
79.
79 years old. Wow. Well, here is a coupon that you can go get some ice cream. These are, by the way, buy one, get one free. I love that because at least they're like, they get a little plug from us, a little plugala. And then beyond that, like when you go in, you can share with somebody. Birthday? Okay. I'll try to do this as best as possible. Phil Donahue probably had a whole way of doing this. I'm just a wannabe. And young lady, what's your name?
Sarah Hoffman.
By the way, I know all these people's names. I'm just doing this, for the effect tonight. And Sarah, tell us what day is your birthday?
It was August 6th.
August 6th. Fantastic. And I'm sure it was a day filled with smiles, right? You want to tell us how young you are?
78.
78. Wow. They're getting, we're going, we're going in that order. Mazel tov and happy birthday. I love the month of August. This is a very, very special month, and we're coming over here. I think we're gonna meet another really good, cool person, cool friend. And those of you online can't see us right now. Is that right, Ashlyn? Yeah, they can't. Okay, good. So you're gonna hear one of the great voices. What's your name?
Patty Stiles,
Patty. Okay, and your birthday?
August 23rd,
You want to tell us?
70.
70. She said tonight, she goes, it was a big birthday. And it's right. Keep up the great work. We had some over here, right? Yeah. And then I think one over here we were pointing. Okay, I know. Hello. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Name?
Sharon Moran.
Birthday?
Same as Minta, August 24th.
August 24th? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not going to walk you through the whole probability problem, but it's higher than 50% if you have more than 50 people in the room, if I remember that from high school. You want to tell us?
18 times 4.
18 times 4. Everybody figured that out at home. Golfers will know what that is. Happy birthday. I'm going to make my way for anybody else? And by the way, let's do this because we're going to be doing like a little shiftala, right? We're going to be shifting things and moving around so that we're celebrating also with some of the, people who are in elementary school, middle school, or high school. Speaking of high school, how's it going? Yeah, the senior year started off all right. We got more to talk about. Don't go, stay for Kiddush and Motzi tonight, all right? All right, good. We have to catch up. Hello there. How you doing? Good. Tell us, give us the details.
Emery Dowell, August 18th, and I'm 27.
That's awesome. Happy birthday, Emery. This is, again, one of the ways that we celebrate. We want to celebrate. Is it your birthday, too, this month? No. That was like a Larry David type of, no. I know, so young, so young. Let's do this. Again, for all whose birthdays are in this month of August, and maybe you at home have keyed something in. I can't hand this through the camera here, but we say this blessing for you and for all who are celebrating during this month. If you know the Shehechianu blessing, just say it with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We give thanks to God, right, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this very happy time. And to that, let's all say Amen and Mazel Tov. Hit it. Yom Huledet Sameach. 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 Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. With all of our hearts, lots of blessings to you.
Happy birthday. Wow, hard to follow that. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's so good to be here. Thanks for coming out in the rain. It's nice to be together, and our friends online as well. Some words to share this Shabbat. Every time that we get up, we are blessed with the gift of life. Perhaps we're especially reminded of that when we celebrate birthdays. We are given the opportunity to choose how we will spend our time and what impression we will make in the lives of others. Tonight, that feeling is magnified as we cross an invisible yet significant threshold and enter the Hebrew month of Elul this coming Monday night, the preparatory month leading us to Rosh Hashanah. We're just about a month away from the new year, and this month of Elul is designed to help us prepare for the Jewish New Year. Perhaps it is not a coincidence then that the opening words of this week's Torah portion called Re'eh echo the words that we read in just over a month's time on Yom Kippur. The Hebrew goes from the Torah, Notein lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. I place before you this day life and good, death and evil. The one difference, on Yom Kippur, the Torah adds two words, uvacharta b'chayim, choose life. As we enter the new month of Elul and begin to shift our focus in mind, body, and spirit towards the new year and the possibilities that lie ahead, we might ask ourselves, what does it mean to live in a way where we choose life? And maybe one further question, how do we ready ourselves to choose life? There's a wonderful legend that helps us understand this. In a faraway place, there was a king looking to expel the Jews from his kingdom. Needing a reason for his very severe decree, he summons to his palace the community's rabbi and offers him a riddle. The king says, if you answer my riddle correctly, I will permit your people, the Jewish people, to remain. But if you answer incorrectly, you and your whole people must be gone before nightfall. At this, the king put his hands behind his back and declared, in my hands, Rabbi, I hold a bird. Tell me, Rabbi, is the bird alive or is the bird dead? The rabbi, reasoning that the king intended to expel the Jews no matter what he said, thought to himself, if the king holds a live bird and I say as much, the king will snuff out the bird's life. And if I say that the bird is already dead, He will release the bird and show me to be a fool. The rabbi therefore offered the only truthful statement available to him. He said, "Whether the bird is dead or alive, to the king, this decision is entirely in your hands." Every day, we hold life in our hands. Will we choose to speak kindly, or will we hurt others with our words? Will we try to see another's viewpoint, or be too quick with our own retort? Will we pause and see the good in others, or choose to respond in frustration or with anger? Be assured, even a simple kind word, a small and caring gesture, or just being a friend to someone who is hurting or lonely, or even a bit unlovable, will be felt deeply. Rabbi Janet Martyr, one of our colleagues, a past president of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the national movement of Reform Rabbis organization, reminds us of the impact we can have on the lives of others. She writes, "We're all human beings. There are no perfect lives. There are no perfect families. All of us have times when we want to cry. Nobody here is always on top. All of us fall down and need to be lifted up." She continues, "Self-sufficiency is a cruel illusion. Sooner or later, we all need someone else to lean on, and someone else needs us too. When we share time meaningfully with others, when we offer a kind word, when we act in ways that are life-giving and life-sustaining, when we touch another person for blessing, we are making a handprint on the heart of those whom we share our days with. And in this way, we choose life." The High Holy Days, it's hard to be talking about the High Holy Days already. And this month of Elul, which we are about to enter in just a few days, come to remind each and every one of us that we are not fixed in our past or by our past. Most of the time, we live as though we do not have the capacity to change. We allow past habits to control us. We become trapped by the standing obligations in our lives, or we allow ourselves to be pigeonholed by the past. We believe that once we have things one way, we cannot ever change the course of our life. But our tradition and our Torah claim otherwise. As the Torah says, "See, I place before you today, and indeed every day, life and good, death and evil." And this month of Elul, we are reminded that we can, you can, I can choose life. We choose life when we become aware of the habits that have come to define us, when we want to change the behaviors that make us feel heavy or that weigh us down, when we remove what I like to call the shell of habit that encases us and that hardens us to the mystery of the world in us and around us. When we choose to give and receive love, when we choose to live in a way that reflects our light inside and outside the world, that is choosing life. This Elul begins in just a few days, and this new year, we can decide to free ourselves from the expectations that we bring to this place. It is true, we have never experienced this moment before. We can choose to be the people we want to be. We can give ourselves in new and unexpected ways, and we can continue ourselves up to the wonder of this place and this moment and to all of those around us. So this Shabbat, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom and a Chodesh Tov, a good month. May this Shabbat and this month of Elul that we will start in just a few days be a good one for each of you and for all of us. Shabbat Shalom. I think Tammy. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Hello, all. I'm Tammy Geyer, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees, Shabbat Shalom and happy birthday, August babies. I have a lot to go over tonight, and for those who are, watching on TV, you're missing a bunch. And I can tell you there's a bunch, and the tip-off for me is that summer is almost over and high holidays are approaching because the Brotherhood is selling their pansies and mums. So we know it's happening, right? So that's happening on October 4th, so you better make your orders. Some of the things going on, I have questions about Rabbi Karen because I thought it already happened, but we'll get to that. Rather than go through everything, the first thing I want to call to your attention, there will be 2 information sessions for the March of the Living. One for adults that will be on Zoom on September 3rd, and then another for juniors and seniors and their parents on September 8th.
All right, no rebuttal to that.
No rebuttal. All right, you want to get so you can go sit back down? Here's my question.
Oh, sure. Just, you guys can continue to do what you were doing before. Yeah, yeah.
I thought the Run for Their Lives is
It's happening.
a walk run, and
It's a
I thought it
walk.
happened, but it didn't apparently, or
It
is this a
did
typo?
happen, and this is
Okay,
the second
another one.
time, and if need be, it'll happen a couple of weeks from now also. What we're talking about here is that a couple of weeks ago, a group of Israelis locally wanted to be part of a broader initiative to draw attention to the hostages who are still remaining in captivity, being held by the Hamas terrorists. They decided to gather over on Friendly Avenue, you can see where that is, and to do an 18-minute walk. 18, as you know, is symbolic of life, and that's all it was. There were no big signs that said one thing or another about political actions, but it really only asked to bring them home. And there was a necessity for a long time. Today is day 329, and if it's still the case on Sunday, which will be day 331, then we'll meet at 5 o'clock in the Whole Foods parking lot for that 18-minute walk. You'll be able to find those who are there because many people are wearing red T-shirts. Okay, it's called Run for Their Lives, but we walk, or the group that gathers together walks for 18 minutes. It's about a mile, plus or minus, depending on how quickly you walk. And last time there were about 40 people there, and this time there could be many, many more. But it's not going to be that unless you are there. And I know that it means a lot to people, and if need be, we'll be back 2 weeks after that, and so on and so forth. But really all I can do is tell you what the local Israelis are organizing, and we stand together with them as well as standing together with all the families of the hostages.
Sure. The other thing on the same page happens to be on Wednesday. I'm looking at all the really close events. That's Mahjong at 6:30. Also another Rabbi Karim thing, right?
Right.
You're a Mahjong person?
Yeah.
Okay, so then after, we have high holidays coming, but there seems to be a lot going on with respect to an election I hear about in November. So we have a candidate forum coming up. That's Thursday, September 12th, 7 p.m. here at Temple Emmanuel. I thought there was a second date. Also Tuesday, September 17th, and you can look in your pamphlet to see who's going to be speaking. Something that is a sisterhood, brotherhood, and social action committee event. It's on September 15th. Please join us at 10 a.m. We're going to be writing postcards to Floridian voters. This is a nonpartisan event, but it is to encourage voters in Florida with respect to reproductive rights. So I'm hoping to get a good turnout. We have about 500 postcards to write, so the more the merrier. We also have Intro to Judaism coming up, Ladies Who Lunch, September 10th at noon. If you have questions about Ladies Who Lunch, our very own Bernice. is sitting here, and I believe I also saw Barbara, the jewelry sale is in here as well, correct? That's in November. Lots going on. I encourage you to look at the community events. I've spoken enough, but any questions you have about anything going on, I think a lot of the stakeholders happen to be in this room, and we can answer all your questions. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom again. Sorry about that. I'm going to turn to page 371 in the blue. See, I learned. Those of you who are here, I couldn't figure out the pages earlier. Now I know. 371 in the blue. Have our prayer of healing. And we will share, as I shared a few weeks back, maybe about a month ago, this beautiful prayer of healing that we sing that was composed and written by Debbie Friedman, a beautiful soul who wrote just the most beautiful Jewish music. She shared that the first part of this blessing, asking for strength and courage to make our lives a blessing, is actually for all of us. We all need that. And then we'll pause to share those who we are thinking of for healing tonight, and then we'll offer that second part of the blessing for those we are thinking of for healing. So we'll sing tonight on page 371 in the middle. Offer the second part of the blessing for them.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Let's stand together. The ark doors will be open. We're on the bottom of page 586 with a link.
No.
Every week, when we pause to remember those that have passed on, I have this sense like our hearts just expand. They expand in love, they expand in care, they expand because names are reverberating in this space which are so meaningful because the people themselves were so meaningful. Tonight we're remembering those whom death has recently taken from us within the course of this past week or within the course of this past 30 days, those periods that our tradition looks at and says are especially tender during the period of Shiva or during the period of Shloshim. So tonight we're remembering Jane Pearlstein Meyerson. We're remembering Betsy Fox and Richard and Aaron. Our hearts go out to you, go out to Rebecca and to the entire family. We're remembering Charles Popper as well as Sue Clow. And we're also remembering those whose yard sites took place, the anniversary of their passing, during the course of this past week. We're remembering Rochelle Adler and Emma Bates, Bessie Shabro and Edith Dovitz, Dennis Elliott, Yelena Gasanova, Joseph Gottman, Igor Kilimnik, Ruth Kotler. We're remembering Sue Lerner and Betsy. I believe I heard that you're joining us tonight, and others may be joining us tonight digitally. But Betsy, I just want to send out a very special blessing to you, just as we're saying special blessings to everybody who's remembering. Remembering Nettie Lipschitz, and I'm also going to read the name of Yael Epstein-Mann, who you may not know, but the world knew her, and our people definitely knew her. Yael actually was part of the Mossad, and she was partially responsible, if you remember the 1972 Olympic massacres against the Israeli athletes. She was part of the team that brought them to justice. The aunt of Dave Delman, and Dave only discovered this late in her life. Yael is buried in Israel. We're remembering Mackenzie Morris, this very, very tender time, and Deborah Rosen O'Day and Richard Padol, Renee Pollock, Tony Rivers, Harold Summer, Gladys Stein. We're remembering Sidney Stern Jr., Florence Summer, as well as Jose Villalba Sr. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories always live on as a blessing and as an inspiration, as together we join our voices to say, Amen. I'm going to ask that we do something else together, which is to stand. We do so for comfort and for honor, for support and for remembrance. Our words of remembrance are on page 598. As we say together, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar v'yit ale v'yit halal shmei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav huyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And may God, who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us and to Israel, to the entire Middle East, to our entire nation here at home, and to all humanity as we join our voices together to say, Amen. Friends, immediately following our concluding song tonight, which can be found in your worship handout, it's on page 6 there. We'll come back to that in just a moment. We're going to make our way into the temple foyer. Please do so so that we can continue with a couple of additional blessings. Take some wine or grape juice. Hang on to it. Don't drink it yet, as we will be doing the Kiddush blessing and then the Motzi blessing. And then afterwards, we'll have an opportunity to visit with one another. I also want to remind you that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock here at Temple is our Torah study, where we'll be going into further detail on this week's Torah portion. You could consider yourself advanced in Torah study, or just a beginner, or some point in between or beyond. Whatever it is, please come, bring your questions and your insights. It's always a great gathering, and we hope that you'll join us tomorrow morning at 9. It lasts for about 90 minutes, and then we do a couple of additional blessings at the end. That is tomorrow morning. Thank you. This song was also on the playlist, on the, what did I call it before? The song track. The song track. Laman, it comes from the Psalms. And you know what? Here's what I'm thinking. There's like Hebrew at the top. Let's start on the bottom, like where it begins in English. Because of my brothers and friends, because of my sisters and friends, please let me ask, please let me say, peace to you. Because of my brothers and friends, because of my sisters and friends, please let me ask, please let me say, peace to you. This is the house, this is the house of the Lord. I wish the best for you. This is the house of the Lord. I wish the best for you. Laman achai, leman achai v'rei, leman achai v'rei. Adam rana, shalom, leman achai, leman achai v'rei, leman achai v'rei. Adam rana, shalom, leman beit Hashem Eloheinu habak shatova, leman beit Hashem Eloheinu habak shatova. Ya la 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 because of